Meet Bob. Bob is a good man. Bob wakes up at 6:30 a.m. every morning because a small plastic box on his nightstand screams at him. He hates the sound, but he obeys the box. Bob walks to the kitchen. He drinks a cup of brown liquid that smells like burnt beans and disappointment. It is cheap coffee. It doesn't make him happy, it just makes his heart beat fast. Fast enough so he doesn't fall asleep on the bus. Now look at Bob's neck. He is putting on a tie. He pulls it tight. Click. Do you hear that? That is the sound of the collar locking. In the world of digital bullion, we don't call this fashion. We call this a leash. Bob leaves his house to go to a building made of glass and fluorescent lights. He sits in a small fabric square called a cubicle. For the next 8 hours, Bob will click a plastic mouse and stare at a glowing screen until his eyes feel like they are full of sand. Bob is running. If you look closely at Bob's feet, he isn't moving forward. He is inside a giant metal wheel. Every time Bob clicks his mouse, the wheel spins. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The wheel is shaped exactly like his tie. Bob is a battery. He isn't a human being with dreams of painting or traveling to Mars. He is a high-performance AA battery plugged into a machine that doesn't know his name. The machine consumes Bob's time, Bob's energy, and Bob's youth. In exchange, the machine spits out a small piece of paper once a month. The paycheck. This is the most dangerous drug on Earth. Heroin is amateur stuff compared to a steady salary. The paycheck is a chemical wipe for the brain. On Monday, Bob is angry. He wants to quit. He wants to scream at his boss, who is just a slightly larger battery in a slightly more expensive tie. On Wednesday, Bob is tired. He feels the weight of the wheel. His legs ache. But then, Friday comes. Ping! The money hits the bank account. Suddenly, the pain goes away. Bob goes to a bright shopping mall. He buys a new smartphone that does the exact same thing as his old smartphone. But the box is shinier. The paycheck makes Bob forget that he spent 40 hours of his life staring at a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet about mid-range paper clips. The system is very clever. It knows that if Bob is too miserable, he might stop running. So, it allows Bob to upgrade his cage. Last year, Bob's hamster wheel was made of rusty iron. Bob worked hard. He clicked the mouse faster. He skipped lunch. The boss gave Bob a promotion. Now, Bob has a golden cage. It has LED lights. It has a cushioned floor. It has a cup holder for his burnt bean water. Bob feels proud. He looks at the other batteries and their rusty wheels and thinks, I am doing well. Look at my LED lights. But Bob is still running. He is just running faster now because the golden cage is heavier. Bob has something called lifestyle creep. It sounds like a horror movie monster, and it is. When Bob earns more money, the world tells him he needs a bigger house. A house to store the things he doesn't have time to use. He needs a faster car to get to the job he hates. Faster. Bob takes out a loan. A debt. Debt is the gravity of the hamster wheel. It makes the wheel impossible to stop. If Bob stops running for even one day, the bank will come. They will take his LED lights. They will take the cushioned floor. They will take the shiny box. So Bob runs. He runs while his back hurts. He runs while his kids grow up and forget what his face looks like, without a screen glow on it. Bob thinks he is building a life. He isn't. He is just maintaining a cage. He is terrified of the silence that would happen if the wheel stopped spinning. He is terrified of the safety of his salary disappearing. But here is the deadpan truth Bob doesn't want to hear. Your safe job is a single point of failure. You are one restructuring memo away from being a battery that is tossed into the trash. The machine doesn't love you. The machine doesn't care about your loyalty. Bob looks in the mirror. He sees the tie. He hears the wheel. Squeak, squeak. He is starting to realize that he isn't working to live. He is working to pay for the costs of working. The gas for the car, the coffee for the energy, the therapy for the stress, and the expensive toys to numb the boredom. Bob is staring at the exit sign. But there is a problem. Between Bob and the exit, there is a giant invisible wall. The wall is made of math. Most people think financial freedom is a mountain of gold. They think they need $10 million, a private island, and a yacht named Independence. The system loves this idea. Because if you think you need $10 million, you will never stop running. You will stay in the wheel until your knees click, and your hair turns gray, chasing a number that doesn't exist. Here is the deadpan truth. Financial freedom isn't a luxury lifestyle. It's a survival calculation. It is the moment your owned things pay for your needed things. But the machine has spent billions of dollars making sure you don't know the difference. The machine says you need the subscription. You need the premium leather seats. You need the house with the extra room you only visit to vacuum. If you want to be free, you have to become a traitor to the consumer religion. Bob decides to stop. He stops clicking the mouse. The wheel slows down. Squeak. Squeak. Silence. The silence is terrifying. Suddenly, the boss stickman appears. He isn't angry. He is concerned. He offers Bob a bigger piece of cheese, a 5% raise, a fancy new title, like Senior Executive Battery Lead. The machine doesn't want Bob to leave. Not because Bob is special. The machine doesn't want Bob to leave because if one battery leaves, the others might look at the door too. Bob looks at the 5% raise. He calculates it. After taxes and the cost of looking like a senior lead, he realizes he is buying 3 more years of his life for the price of a slightly better steak on Saturdays. He says no. Bob steps off the wheel. His legs are shaking. He has been running in circles for so long that walking in a straight line feels wrong. He walks toward the exit. But to pass through, he has to leave his luggage behind. He has to drop the car keys to the vehicle he can't afford. He has to drop the status symbols that make his neighbors jealous. He has to drop the safety of the burnt bean liquid. Bob is a free man. Because freedom isn't the ability to buy everything. Freedom is the realization that you already have enough to walk away. And once you walk away, the machine has no power over you. The wheel only spins if you keep running. So Bob stops. He walks into the silence. And for the first time in 10 years, he isn't tired. If you feel like a battery in a machine, hit the like button. Subscribe to Digital Bullion. We don't sell dreams. We just point out the bars of the cage. Now look at your tie. Is it fashion or is it a leash? The choice is yours.